please help me. Please, please. And to be constructive. I'm not going to be defensive or, very loud or whatever, just to make sense of our discussion. Please, what are the criteria that makes Muhammad more credible than Paul, according to you? Please, let's investigate them.
So for the Prophet Muhammad, of all the things he said, none of them have ever been proven to be wrong. All has things
Track
that were
record.
wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
track record.
hmm
Is that the only one?
Yeah, also we have the testimony of the people. The people all certify that he is trustworthy and he never lies, including his enemies. We don't have that level of
Okay.
confirmation for Paul.
Meaning testimonies of people that
Yeah.
confirms him.
There are people we
Okay.
know and people that knew him. They are confirming to
Okay.
us. And these are also people that we know we can trust. That are saying that this is the
Okay.
man that they trusted. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Are those the two main criteria that makes Muhammad more credible than Paul?
For me, these are the three criteria I use to make the distinction. Yeah.
No, I only recorded two. Number one, track record of being truthful. Number two, testimonies
Mm-hmm.
of others. I
Of
didn't get the
friends
last one,
and
please.
enemies. Testimony of enemies.
Eh? Okay,
Testimony of
testimony of
enemies.
enemies. Yeah, counter
Yes.
opinion, like skeptic.
No.
Testimony
Someone that doesn't like you. What does he have to
of
say about
skeptic.
you? No.
Yes, skeptic.
Not skeptic, enemy. No.
Okay,
Perez, not
let's use
skeptic, enemy.
enemies.
Enemy,
Enemies.
someone that doesn't
Okay.
like you. What does he have to say about you? That
Okay.
goes a long way as
So
well.
okay, let's start with the track record. So do you have an evidence of something Paul said that is not true?
Yeah, he said that Jesus will come back in his lifetime.
Please, can you give me the verse? I'm oblivious to that
I'm really not
verse.
with my. I'll have to go off the app. I'm not with my laptop. I'm outside. If you can check your
Okay.
AI, it can tell you what the verse where Jesus Paul says that Jesus will come back within their lifetime. That's why they
Okay.
don't have to get married.
Paul said Jesus will come in his lifetime. Let me see. So um okay. What I got here, to be honest, is in Thessalonians 4:15-17. Is it the same? Does it correlate to what you are talking about?
See it there or not?
No, I'm just, I pulled up what you asked me, and it's showing me Thessalonians 4:15, where Paul said that I declare to you by a word from the Lord that we who are alive, who are left until the coming of the Lord, will not precede those who are falling asleep. By including himself in the we, many scholars argued he expected to be among the survivors at Christ's return. Another one is in 1 Corinthians 15:51-52, where Paul states that, behold, I tell you a mystery, we shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. And changed. Again, his phrasing implies he expected some of his contemporary audience and potentially himself to be transformed without experiencing unaliving. Another one is in Romans 13:11-12, where Paul encourages believers to wake up because our salvation is nearer than we first believed. So to you, that's a lie.
That didn't happen. Because again, the point is he said Jesus will come back and he didn't. And we are still waiting for him.
Okay, okay, okay. Hmm. One of the lights of Paul. Let me record this down as one of the lights. So, number two, you said the testimonies. So, are you saying there's no testimony uh, validating Paul too?
Yeah, we don't have anybody that we know of. We know their biography telling us that Paul is trustworthy. Wherever you find that people that are anonymous, that you can't even verify when they were born or when they passed away, telling you that something happened and they saw him. but you cannot verify their own biography, let alone know if you can accept their testimony or not.
Okay. Okay. Uh, so we are now left with the testimony of the enemies.
Yep.
So who are the enemies of Paul that wrote something contrary and doesn't follow?
Well, I think if you look at his reactions, we consider the disciples as part of his enemies. This is who the armies nothing to him. At least there are people that disagree with him. We have the Romans, the synagogue. Unfortunately, we don't have their writing concerning him. Anything, any other way. But we do have James as one of the disciples saying that he is a foolish person.
Okay. So let me start by number one claim you made, that this thing Paul said, that those who are among them will still be alive when he returns. That being a lie. Well, if I'm to explain this verse, you are right at some point. Let me be honest with you now. You are right at some point that it is a lie. But coming from someone who believes Jesus, a man, didn't die and is still alive, living thousands of years in heaven, it will be strange. So if Paul is making such a claim here, you don't have the moral justification to counter Paul because you believe Jesus is a man that is still alive. So what grounds do you have to tell me that there are not people that can share the grace of Christ here among the believers, and even Paul himself, that can benefit out of the properties of Christ that is even in the Quran? You don't have any justification to say that Paul is lying here.
No one is saying any of the things you just said now. I'm not making a moral, spiritual, or theological explanation of what happened. Paul said, for example, he said, I'll eat biscuits tomorrow. And tomorrow came and he didn't eat the biscuits. That's all I'm saying. So what him saying
That's what I'm saying too now. That's what I'm saying
he said,
But
I'm coming. If Paul said that
okay,
he will meet Jesus before he goes, and we don't see that happening, then he said something that didn't happen. That's all I'm saying.
that's
So
what I'm
before he
saying.
dies, he will
Because
see
you are not
Jesus.
an
He didn't.
eyewitness. Calm down. You are not an eyewitness to when Paul said this thing. You don't know the caliber of people that were around him then. I'm sure the apostles were with him here, because he wasn't having a different congregation than the apostles.
Are you saying
So
that
you can't say,
Jesus came
calm
back?
down,
Jesus come
calm
back or
down
not?
now, calm down, calm
Why are you
down.
wasting your time?
I'm not wasting my time. I said to you, I think you are correct. But where I have problem is, how can you believe Paul is a liar here and you believe in Muhammad, who said Jesus didn't unalive and is still in heaven living eternally, as at least 2,000 years should be an ancient of days, if you have to put it in context. So
That's not what
it's
I'm
strange
relating
to
in
me.
correlation. I
I don't
didn't
see the
say I don't
correlation.
believe. I didn't say I don't believe Paul that he said Jesus will come back. I didn't say I don't believe that. I said Paul said Jesus will come back while he is still alive. That didn't happen. It's not
Exactly.
a theology. It is about it. It's the point of history where Paul is making a claim of something that will happen that didn't. That's all I'm saying. So there's no theology
Yeah.
behind it.
No, you are still not getting my point. You are still not getting
Okay.
my point.
What
If
about
I'm
it?
telling you that I said I agree to what you said, that Paul might actually lie here, but coming from someone who believed Jesus didn't unalive, we might even be sure that another revelation might come in the Quran that will tell us that even Paul, that we believe was alive, didn't unalive, and it was made to appear so, to even buttress what Paul was saying here.
Are you
Because
trying to say
Muhammad
that
is
according to
the
the
seal of the
Quran,
prophets. Calm down
are you
now,
saying
calm
that
down.
according to the Quran that Paul can still be alive so that what he said is so true?
We never can say, because before we used to think Jesus unalive, not for the Quran that told us he didn't unalive. He went into let me even read it to you. It's in Tafsir of Ibn Kathir, where Noto was running his mouth. I was lying. I read that like that. Let me show you. I'm in Quran 157 now. Quran 4, verse 157. I'm in the tafsir of Ibn Kathir. That day was a Friday in the evening. They surrounded Isa in the house. And when he felt that they would soon enter the house, or that he would soon or later have to leave it, he said to his companions, who volunteers to be made to look like me, for which he will be my companion in paradise. A young man volunteered, but Isa thought that he was too young. He asked the question the second time and the third time. Each time, the young man volunteering, prompting Isa to say, well then, you will be that man. Allah made the young man look exactly like Isa, while a hole opened in the roof of the house. And Isa was made to sleep and ascended to heaven while asleep. Allah said. So if Allah could do all these things, I don't think any Muslim has any moral justification to query Paul for what he said there. You don't. Because there might be a revelation, even in the Quran, that will buttress the fact that Paul was saying. Because we all thought Jesus unalive, but if not for Muhammad, we never knew that Jesus is unalive and went through a hole in the roof of the house into heaven. That's what I'm saying. So,
Okay,
judging by our own standards in the Quran, we can't say Paul lied in this verse.
okay.
So let's go to number 2. You said there is no testimony of anybody confirming Paul. Am I right?
Anyone that
Okay,
we know,
let's read.
we don't know anyone that we know that is saying Paul is trustworthy.
Okay, let's read. I think. Wait, let's read Acts 9.
Who wrote
Calm
Acts?
down.
Sorry, who wrote
Yeah,
Acts?
calm down now. Let me finish. I will go there. Don't worry.
No,
That's
but
why I
don't waste
said
the
I will
time.
leave it.
I'm telling you, we don't show someone that we
And
know. We don't know the writer
don't
of Acts. We
worry.
just know that he's Luke. We don't know when he was born, when he passed away. We don't
Calm
know anything
down.
about him.
Calm
That's
down.
the
Let me
issue.
finish now. Let me
Okay,
finish.
fine.
You made a
I'm
claim.
trying to
Let
save
me
you
buttress
time.
my claim, and I'll give you the explanation to your questions. Calm down. You see, I'm not being vulgar now. I'm not rushing. Let's read Acts 9:27. Because you know me, I don't like when people make claim that they can't substantiate. Acts 9:27. But Barnabas took him, we are talking about Paul here now, and brought him to the apostles. He, Barnabas, now told them how Saul on his journey had seen the Lord, and that the Lord has spoken to him. That is Barnabas confirming that the Lord has spoken to Paul. Let me continue. I mean, 20. Can you turn those up? Has seen the Lord, and that the Lord has spoken to him. Barnabas is even confirming that the Lord has spoken to Paul, and how in Damascus he had purchased fearlessly, he had preached fearlessly in the name of Jesus.
Who is
So
Barnabas?
that is Barnabas was an apostle too.
When did he pass away?
When did Barnabas? I don't remember. Should we check it to
Yeah, please check
confirm?
it. Yeah, check
Okay,
it.
when did Barnabas pass away? When did Barnabas
And you
pass?
can just add his last name too, so that I know we know everything. Just ask for his last name as well. What is his last name?
No, let's do one after the other, please.
Yeah, you can do both
Okay,
of them. What is his
Christian
last name and when
tradition
did he pass
holds
away?
that Saint Barnabas passed away in approximately 61 to 62 AD. He is believed to be martyred for his faith in Salamis, Cyprus, which was his native land. So, what was the?
What is his last name?
Yeah, I don't get the relation to the confirmation
The
of
point is
Paul.
they are unknown people. We don't know them for us to know what they are saying is true. That's the point I'm making. If someone
Are you saying
anonymous
you
says
don't know
something,
Barnabas?
yes, we don't. And what you just quoted that was martyred is based
Traditional
on later
time.
traditions.
It's traditional. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, host. Thank you,
Yeah, so
host.
if you go down to see
Now,
how do we know that he was martyred, it is based on later unreliable traditions that are coming way after the incident. So there's nobody that knows him that is saying that this is what happened to him, but rather other traditions in the Christian theology that see all the disciples were martyred, but there's no evidence for it. That's the issue. But you're not a Christian, so I don't know why all these things are problem matter to you. But
Well,
anyway, it's your time.
well, wait. You've made your own point. Let me now make my own point now. You see, in 488 AD, there were relics that were rediscovered, which points to his remains. It was discovered under a carob tree in Cyprus, still holding the manuscript of Matthew's Gospel. As a matter of fact, it was believed that when Barnabas was to be unalived, he was holding onto his chest the manuscripts of Matthew. And that's what I'm reading. I can open my camera to prove it to you. That means it is an established fact that Barnabas was a real person, and the circumstances surrounding his death, his location, and they could even pinpoint his native origin, which is Cyprus, Salamis in Cyprus. How real do you want him to be? That means you are having a very, very biased and subjective standard onto how real people could be. Let me even give you another fact now. I don't have a written account of my fourth grandfather or sixth grandfather now. Does that mean they don't exist? We have notable oral documentation of their lives, their hometown, their everything. So if you are telling me it doesn't exist because there's no written, no, that's subjective now. Because the last we checked, we have the church traditions, people who lived close to the time he was unalive, telling you the details of what happened when he was unalive, telling you his native hometown, telling you, that means they actually know this guy. And we have his ministerial journeys here in front of me here. Very detailed. So you can't tell us Barnabas was not a real person. That's very, very subjective.
I didn't say he's not a real person. I said, how do you know we can trust him? Bruce Wayne's biography. Different.
How else do you want me to know he's a real person? That means if you are saying using this your standard now, then my fourth or sixth grandfather didn't even exist. How do we know he's a real person? Maybe he's a spirit. You see,
It's
these things
not a
are
real person, it's whether he can be trusted. There's a
no.
difference.
Why can't
I
he be
think, can we
trusted?
trust that he is a trustworthy person that never lies? We don't have that information to confirm it. That's the point.
I can say the same for Muhammad. I can say the same for Muhammad. Okay, I can even point to you now that Muhammad is a Chinese man, not an Arab. Because everything we have is just Islamic tradition. We don't have his picture to ascertain him. That means Muhammad must not even have existed. Abi, do we have the picture of Muhammad to prove he's an Arab? It is just Islamic tradition. Outside Islamic sources, we don't have pictures of Muhammad to prove or ascertain who he is. So these things
It's
are
okay.
subjective. Let's not. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Perez. Concerning the picture of the Prophet Muhammad, striving, is there a problem when a picture of the Prophet Muhammad is seen anywhere or a drawing? Because I do hear things like that it causes problems.
In Islam, we are not allowed to portray the Prophet in any way, whether in picture or in a movie or in any other form. Since we don't
Is
know
it
it
only the
confirmed,
Prophet? Thank you, Demystify, for renewing your sparfan. Is it only the Prophet Muhammad? What of the other prophets before him too? Is it okay to have their paintings?
no. As far as you're living within an Islamic country, an Islamic rulership, you can't do that for any prophet.
Oh, okay. All right, that's it. Confident Jim will now proceed to engage with you.
Bing, how are you?
Good, have your confidence. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So I've been listening all day, but what made me come up was, in my opinion, the preposterous claim that you made when you stated, and I quote, that when you yourself decided to choose Islam after you yourself used universal logic to verify every claim of the Quran. That's what you said, and that's why I came
No,
up.
I said I use universal logic to confirm the trustworthiness of the prophet.
No, you said that. You said you used the word verify, and the
Yeah, the
reason why I heard
trustworthiness of
that
the
is because
prophet. That is fine.
I too came to my faith by using universal logic. I could never say I could verify, because unless I've got my own team to go back here and go back there and check, it's impossible. And you said that you want to do apologetics. I'm telling you now, never ever make that claim. It's preposterous. It's just ridiculous. I was laughing. It's ridiculous because you said it. Now I'm going to
Can you
ask
show
you
me
a question.
why it's ridiculous then, since you have 15 minutes?
It's ridiculous. You yourself,
Yeah,
you
can
one
you show
person,
me why
you
it is?
cannot verify. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Okay. So, what does universal logic mean?
Nobody can dispute logically. That's
So,
what
did you say
universal
for
logic is.
you? So
Yeah,
you said for you.
universal
So you have
logic
your
is
own
something
definition.
I mean, if you want to have a different one, it's fine. But this is how I understand the term universal logic. And this is how I use it.
Sorry. So what does it mean? Because it has got a meaning. Because it's a concept. So what is the meaning?
Yeah, that's why I'm giving you how I'm using the term, which is to mean that this is a principle that nobody can dispute logically, which means everybody that adopts logical principles will accept it.
So would you say that it means rational consistency?
I can accept that, yes.
Okay. So and also the empirical verification through science and history.
Not really. Empirical is not always possible for every claim. So it doesn't have to be
Not
empirical.
really. No, because
Yeah.
the term universal logic, this is what it means. When you say that you've used that term, that concept, before you choose something, it means that you've gone through all the steps. So, for example, if you're doing algebra and you miss out on a step in the equation, you can't say you use the equation. Yeah? You have said that you used universal logic. And universal logic consists of rational consistency, empirical verification, and philosophical reasoning. That's what it means. Anything else, it's not universal logic. It's just not.
I agree the overview of your chapter, right? You only disputing the inclusion of empirical evidence as part of the evidence
Hold
you
on.
use
Sorry,
to
say that
have
again.
universal logic.
You've got a lot
I
of
said I'm accepting the
background
framework.
noise there.
Yeah, sorry.
Strap, you have a lot of background noise.
Yeah, I know.
Say that
Sorry.
again,
Is
please.
it better now? I'm saying that the framework you're providing, I accept it, except the existence of empirical evidence. So I'm saying that you don't have
Part
empirical
of it.
evidence for everything. No, it's not. Not necessarily.
It is.
Do you have a definition that includes
Do
it?
you do you
You
have
can just check
any
Google.
device on you that you do you have any
No, I don't.
device on you that you can check?
No, I don't. And like I said, I'm traveling, so
I'm sorry. Sorry. Is that you
I
can or
don't
you
have a
cannot?
second device. Yeah, I can't. I don't have a second device.
Okay. Right. Well, I'm getting universal logic is the study of common features across all logical systems acting as a meta theory to unify diverse logics, institutionalistic, modal, etc. Yeah? It provides tools to study abstract properties. It refers to NAND or gates. Right, some examples are logical frameworks, meta theory, logic development. So that definitely encompasses empirical. Why? Because empirical is what? Scientific. And if you're saying no and your Quran makes scientific claims, then it's even more confusing why you use such a terminology. But,
The
hello?
definition
Are you
including
there?
empirical. Did it include empirical?
Yeah, empirical. The term empirical encompasses science and history. So if
No.
you are saying you don't agree, then you've got the whole premise of that term wrong.
No,
Empirical
science doesn't
verification
always
means
include
science and
empirical.
history.
Science doesn't always
Empirical
include empirical.
verification, when it comes to universal logic, is embedded in its concepts.
Fine. Fine. I accept the framework. Fine. So there's no waste too much time here.
I'm,
Okay,
I'm
let's
sorry.
go on. I said accept the
All
framework
right.
so that we don't waste too much time. Let's go on.
Okay. So when you was verifying, when you was using this logical, when you was using this term of universal logic to verify the claims of the Quran in the areas of logic and theological claims, how did you do that? How did you do that?
Yeah, so all of it is hinged on verifying if the prophet is someone you can trust when he says X happened. And once you verify that, everything else becomes secondary.
So
That's the way I do it.
you use the theological claims of already established. Did you go and interview them yourself?
You know, I use a deductive argument, a deductive reasoning to come to the conclusion of how to verify the other things he says.
Deductive
Deductive
reasoning,
reasoning.
there is nowhere in
Yeah.
universal logic does not include deductive reasoning. Now, I can say that when I've told this panel before that I looked at different religions, that all I used was my deductive reasoning. But you made this bold claim that you applied universal logic. There's a difference here, a big difference. So unless you yourself have now gone to examine for yourself all the claims ever made, you cannot use such a term. Don't do it because you'll be laughed at. It's ridiculous.
So
It's just
universal logic
ridiculous.
includes universal logic includes any logical system which a deductive reasoning is part of. So it is, I don't know what you're reading, but universal logic includes every logical framework or model that fits within rationale and all the logic principles that we have. And deductive reasoning is part of it.
Hello? Striving?
Did you hear what I said? Yeah, did you get what I said?
No, please. Please say it again, please.
I said deductive reasoning is part of, like, number one, universal logic includes all logical systems that agree with the law of logic. And deductive reasoning is one of it. So that's why I can use it. Yeah, so like I said, I don't have any device with me, but universal logic includes all logical systems. Does it not? Does
Sorry?
universal logic include all logical systems?
Sorry, say that again.
I said, does universal logic include all logical systems?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But
Is
I'm
deductive
telling you
reasoning
that's
a
the
logical
only
system?
I'm telling you that's the only one you used. You use the bold term of logical. That's all you use. That's all you could use. Unless you've got the financial backing to literally hire a team of people to go through everything, it's the only resource available to yourself based on all the information you have out there. So you sat down and you went through the Quran, you went through the Hadiths, you went through your tasfirs, you went through your scholars, you looked at the ones that are seen as strong. Hello? 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 Hello?
Yeah,
Can
someone
you
else.
mute?
Holistic, can you
Sorry,
mute, please?
he needs to mute. Holistic, can you mute, please? Yeah, I was saying that how you, as a lay person, okay, the only system you have open to you is your reasoning, is deducive reasoning. You went through your Quran, you went through the scholars, you went through the hadiths, you went through the tafsir, you went through all those, you looked at who was strong, you looked at who was weak. That's all you did. That's the only thing you could have
Why?
done. You have
Why
not,
are you
because you
intimidated
can't
by
do
my use
anything
of
else because you are a
universal
lay
logic?
person.
Why are you
Sorry?
intimidated by it? Why are you intimidated by the fact that I use
It
universal
is a
logic
bold
to
claim.
confirm my religion?
It's a silly claim. It's a
Then
silly claim for a lay
give me
person
an
to make.
example. Yeah,
You,
give me an
you
example
you
of where
need
it
to
doesn't
have
fit.
a team. You need to have a team of people behind you in knowledgeable in these areas. So you go, they will send them out to go and do this for you. That's how all the big, that's how it works. But you said that you yourself did this. That's why I came up, because it's a
But
silly
okay,
claim. Stop doing it.
so why is it? So are you telling me that if another group went out and did that, if another group went out and did this, and I went and looked at the results and read it, doesn't mean I did universal logic to accomplish to prove the Quran?
No, You just use deduction based on available information. That's all you use. You used
So
your
someone else uses
your own
universal logic.
reasoning.
Yes. So I'm coming. So I'm trying to answer. Someone else uses universal logic to confirm Islam, and I go and read what
You
they did.
said that
You're
you
telling me
said you
that's not
used it to
universal
verify.
logic?
You said you used it to verify every claim. Tell me how you, striving Muslim, used universal logic to verify the claim that an angel gave this your prophet information inside a cave. How did you do that? How did you do that? You.
Okay. Two is number one, I look at what the angel said. If any of it is false, then it can be an angel. Number two, I look at the people that were there, if they believe in that or not, and they all did, because they all witnessed it at some point as well. So this is how I'm able to
You
confirm it
have
for myself.
not used universal logic to verify that claim. You have not used that. You have just used deductions based on maybe your intuition from reading your Quran and the associated tafsirs and hadiths and whatever else. That's all you've done.
So what will be the universal logic that I can use in this instance?
I've come up here to challenge you on a technical point. You
Okay.
should not have said you used universal logic to verify every claim in the Quran. You cannot do, you yourself in 2026 cannot do that
Okay,
unless
let's
you've
say
got a
with this
time
example.
machine. Do you
Let's say with that
do you know
example.
someone with a time
Yes.
machine that it went
Sorry.
back to check?
Let's say
No.
with that example. How will you use universal logic to verify that whether or not the angel spoke to the prophet? How will you use universal logic for that?
Well, I don't need to. The Holy Spirit told me the angel was Jesus Christ, but that's another
I
story.
didn't say how would you. You say I didn't. So I'm
I
asking
said for
what
me,
will.
I said the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit told me the angel
I'm
is
not asking
Jesus
about you.
Christ.
I'm not asking about you. I'm asking how are you saying, because you said what I did is just universal logic. Okay. So what is universal logic that what I said went against?
Listen, all those. So, for example, one could argue that the companions of this your prophet, one could say that they used that logic. They knew him, that was around him, they know him, so they can really say
Sorry.
they can.
The,
But you yourself cannot
confidence in.
in
That's not the question.
2026, so you wasn't there, and you can't
That's not
prove
the
that.
question. That's not the question. You seem to think there's a universal logic that will apply in this scenario that I didn't, which is why my example didn't fit. So I'm asking, what is that thing
I
that
say
you
to them,
measured
no.
against that my example didn't fit?
Because you do not
Hey,
have the time or the resources to go back in time to check these things.
so
Universal
for
logic
you,
is essentially what big
time
research
travel,
companies, that's what they can employ because they've got
doing time travel.
that's what big
Sorry, are
research
you saying?
companies can do to employ.
Sorry,
Why?
are
Because
you saying to me?
they look at the history. They'll look at archaeologists. They'll all go to the place, take samples, do what? That's what they do. We lay people that.
Okay,
Hello, are you listening? Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Are you telling me that universal
I
logic
said
means
you
time
as a
traveling?
lay person. You as
I'm
a
trying to
lay person.
understand.
You can't do that.
Please, I want to define what universal logic is so that I don't mistake it again. Are you saying universal logic is time traveling?
It's very clear. Are you
Is
a
it time traveling
philosopher?
or not?
No. Are you a philosopher? Are you a
Yes,
philosopher?
is a philosopher. Yes, a philosopher is a thinker,
Are
right?
you a
I am a
philosopher?
thinker.
Are
Yes,
you
I
a
am.
scientist? You're not. So then,
Yes, I
unless
am.
you pay these
And both
people
of those
to
things,
go and do it on your behalf, you yourself cannot do this.
and both those two things. So I don't know why. What is this inferiority complex you are trying to impose on me?
No,
I
no,
don't
this
have
is
it. I don't
it.
need it.
This was your. I'm just saying, do not do it. Just say you used your skills, but you use your reasoning based on the available information that made you believe that the prophet was correct. That's all. But don't throw around these big terms. When you break it down, you couldn't do these things. That's all I'm saying, and that's all I will be saying.
That's fine.
Oh, the time's gone. That was quick. All right, thank you. Thank you, host. We finished.
All right, thank you very much, the Confident Gym, for that engagement session with